war in Gaza.
You have casualties just like we do. This is an opportunity to connect between the two nations to reach an honest peace.
How it is affecting students here in South Florida. And a visitor for Telemundo.
If you think it's important, don't give up. Just go and go and go and try and achieve your goal.
What this renowned journalist has to share with aspiring students. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Daniela Tolki.
I'm Leanne Abutalbush. Today is Thursday, October 12, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Major diplomatic support from the U.S. to Israel earlier today as Secretary of State Antony Blinken touched down in Tel Aviv and met with Israel's Prime Minister. Meanwhile, on both sides of the Atlantic, family members are waiting and watching for updates of missing and captured relatives.
Reporter Hawa Izel from the Caplin News DC Bureau is in Washington this morning.
The death toll continues to rise as the war between Israel and Hamas enters its fourth day. And for those living here in the United States with relatives over the seas, the worry for their loved ones' well-being continues to rise with it.
Thousands of people from over 22 countries have been killed or are missing as a result of Saturday's attack. Gaia Calderon, an Israeli woman whose father, brother, sister, cousin, and grandmother are currently missing, says the worst part is not knowing whether they're okay.
No one knows anything. I hope I will know soon. I don't even know if they are alive, you know.
In Gaza, about 263,934 people have been displaced since Saturday. In Israel, tens of thousands have evacuated since Sunday.
This is by far the worst tragedy that Israel has ever faced in 75 years of history.
This week's explosive events come after over 50 years of conflicts between the two territories, stemming from Israel's illegal occupation of Palestine since 1967. Palestinian student Leanne Abu-Tarbush says it's important to understand the context of what's happening.
Palestinians have no rights. They have no rights. They don't vote. They don't have a government. They don't have a military. It's decades of occupation. It's decades of oppression. Those people are fighting for liberation. They're fighting for their freedom. They've been trying to fight for it for so long that now it's just getting out of hand.
Yaakov Argamani had to face the horror of seeing his daughter captured by Hamas on social media and has a message for those holding his daughter hostage. You have casualties just like we do. This is an opportunity to connect between the two nations to reach an honest peace.
We're all together in this. We need to try do it together.
A group of Republican senators is now calling for the Biden administration to refreeze $6 billion it released to Iran in exchange for 5 American prisoners in September. The senators argued that although the aid is not to be used for anything other than humanitarian funds, it could be utilized for more attacks. In Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, I'm Hawa Izel.
Palm Beach County is still buzzing this morning after some strong words during a campaign stop by former President Donald Trump. Last night, the former president was a keynote speaker at Club 47 event. He spoke to thousands about his campaign focus and took jabs at President Joe Biden, criticizing the president's foreign policy and continuing to claim a rigged 2020 election.
And if the election wasn't rigged, there would be nobody even thinking about going into Israel. The election was rigged, very sadly rigged.
He also took some shots at the other Republican candidate running for the nomination. He spoke on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and claims insurance costs are higher and rising under his watch.
A Florida school district took the first steps yesterday in the state's idea toward a more conservative curriculum. The Miami-Dade School Board approved new textbooks for social studies, history, geography, and civics. This will go in effect starting the 2024 to 2025 school year. A new legislation banned teaching that suggests a person based on race or skin color is oppressed or privileged.
Available to purchase this morning, a book on the experiences of a network correspondent assigned to the Middle East. As Caplin Virginia Torino reports, the author came to Doral yesterday to promote the release.
Renowned journalist Martin Fletcher is here at Telemundo with an informational session about his amazing career. Martin Fletcher visited Telemundo on Wednesday, speaking to young college students and staffers about the release of his new book. He also discussed life experiences he took with him.
You really meet people in extraordinary circumstances, and the fact that you just carry on with life, regardless, one way or the other. You make it work. Everyone does that. What choice do you have?
He also discusses the crisis happening in Israel.
One of the reasons, anyway, Israel can deal with the Palestinians out of Ramallah. It's one of the reasons why Hamas had this horrific fight with Fatah in Gaza in 2007, where they were at war with each other, where I saw people being pushed off the roof, Hamas pushing Fatah people off the roof of the Palestinian tower in Gaza.
Young journalists were also excited to hear what he had to say.
And I learned a lot of different things about Martin's experience because he has been in war in many different scenarios that we as a journalist are one day might be in that situation.
And finally, he left us with one piece of advice.
My advice would be, if you think it's important, don't give up. Just go and go and go and try and achieve your goal, however difficult it is.
Fletcher is encouraging young journalists to find their own path. I'm Virginia Tijerino from Caplin News.
An apparent tornado touched down last night in Clearwater, which caused damage. The tornado went through the area and caused chaos and destruction. This destruction took place throughout homes and spread debris along the roads. A bedroom wall had fallen on a woman who was lying in bed, and luckily she was not injured. Power has been shut down due to safety concerns.
Bad news for South Florida this morning. There is a winner for the $1.7 billion jackpot, but it wasn't here. A single ticket was sold near Los Angeles in a community called Frazier Park. The lucky winner will have the option of taking a payout worth $774 million. An employee at the store which sold it is speaking out this morning.
Every day people come in every day and buy their tickets, like going to church. You know, it's crazy. This is crazy. Somebody called and said, "Oh my God, you guys sold the winning ticket." I'm like, okay, great. And then somebody else calls, "Are you guys the store that sold the winning ticket?" I'm like, oh man, this is nuts. This is crazy.
Also, 7 lucky ticket holders in 5 states matched all 5 white balls to win $1 million.
Swifties came to the theater for Taylor's new concert movie, and left with an experience they'll never forget.
That's all ahead, and so is this story.
It's interesting that it's something so old that it's been there for a long time and they didn't know about it.
Crews in Florida doing road repair make an unusual discovery. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Construction crews in Florida have uncovered a mysterious boat believed to be from the 19th century. They found it in St. Augustine during a drainage improvement project and are now working safely to dig it out the ground and preserve it.
Reporter Brianna Andrews from News 4 Jax takes a closer look.
An unexpected piece of history is causing congestion and road closures along King Street in A1A. FDOT engineers found this 20-foot-long wooden boat dating back to the 1800s buried deep underground. What do you guys think? Do you think it's cool? Do you think
it's fantastic? Yeah, I think it's very cool.
It's interesting that it's something so old that it's been there for a long time and they didn't know about it.
Crews are carefully digging the boat out of the ground, hoping to preserve it. It's at least 170 years old and in good condition. Dr. Ian Pond, an archaeologist with FDOT, says crews discovered the boat while trying to put pipes in for the city's latest drainage project.
They started to see signs of wood, and then they started to, as they uncovered more, they started to see the shape of this boat. And sure enough, we had a boat.
There's no way to know for sure who this vessel belongs to, but the theory is it may have belonged to a family based on what archaeologists found on board.
We assume that it probably was used by some sort of individual or maybe a small family. That's a little hard to tell, but we do have a few artifacts that were found with it. So we've got some shoes, some leather shoes.
The leather shoes are covered in dirt, so we couldn't get a good look at them. But we're told it had a left and right foot, which didn't become common until the mid-1800s. And that wasn't the only discovery.
The other thing is I believe there are some coins that are from the 1800s, like the 1860s, 1880s.
Greg Evans, the FDOT District 2 Secretary, is excited about the new discovery and can't wait to find it a new home. What are your plans for the boat once it's actually out the ground?
So we want to find an owner. We want to find and invest with somebody, partner with somebody, and have it on display somewhere, hopefully.
Another unexpected discovery, adding to the nation's oldest city's rich history. Brianna Andrews, Channel 4, the local station.
Are you ready for it? Taylor Swift's movie titled Era Tour will be in theaters a day early, meaning that the US and Canada receive it today. The world premiere took place in Los Angeles yesterday with more than 2,000 fans in attendance. She also posed with fans in selfies that are circulating social media. You're watching Newsbreak and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level.
Father.
Cosplayer.
Mentor.
Actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Nana Batarbush.
I'm Daniela Toki. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.